Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Monday night. This is Gravel Trap Legends Round 4. We are at Santa Cruz do Sul for the Formula Inter Full Brazilian Series. And with me this evening is Jason Woods. Good evening, Woodsy.
Hey, Tim. Hey, all.
Jason,
how's everything going? All good?
Yeah, everyone's excited for this evening. A little bit of moisture around, so a little bit damp on the edge, but maybe it's going to be a dry qualifying, the guys are talking about. But Jason's joining us for the next 3 rounds as Neil takes a break from the commentary box, having a little bit of surgery, so we wish Neil all the best. He went under the knife today. He should be resting up now, and he said he'll be keen to wake up and check out this stream as soon as he's fit and able. So let's take a let's take a quick look at the leaderboard we've got after the first 3 rounds, and we are looking at the top 3 very, very close at the moment. Brett S at the moment with 171 points, but Cuckoo and Petey separated by 1 point, and they're also the fastest lap competition at the moment. Brett S has 3 fastest, and Petey has the other 3. But it is a very, very contested battle going down through. Esky Man, Kiz and Dat Boy all separated by only 9 points. And then there's only a handful of points separating Scar, Travi, the Bloody Nine, Brad Luck. And then the balance of the field, again, there is only a handful. And we've got, I think, 4 or 5 guys all within 4 or 5 points knocking on the door for that top 10th position. So things are heating up drastically, and also the target is running at the moment, so whoever wins the highest points for the rounds is not eligible for the target, and the target is made up of the fastest combined laps or time for the combined laps. At the moment, Brett S sits on top with Scar and Petey. Very, very close contested there. Obviously, the fastest laps were looking for the lowest combined time in that. And there's only 2 seconds separating first, second and third. But Brett and also Scar and Petey, after 6 races, their combined total fastest laps separated by 0.5 of a second. That's absolutely insane. It shows the quality of driving we've got at the moment for the Formula Inter here on Monday nights with Gravel Trap Legends. Guys, we hope you're enjoying the stream. And there has been some talk about the weather for this evening, so we'll take a quick look at that. And the weather forecast for round 4 at Santa Cruz is moist. The temperature is expected to peak around about 28 degrees. The humidity will be hovering around 98%. The wind's predicted to be moderate, around 19 kilometres an hour, and there is a 90% chance of rain. The cars are currently on track in qualifying, and at the moment is blue skies as far as the eye can see. And let's take a look at where we are this evening. We are at Santa Cruz do Sul in Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil for Formula Inter Round 4. The date for this evening's race is the 21st of May 2023. And some track facts for Santa Cruz do Sul is 3.51 kilometres long, 2.19 miles in the old school. There's 14 corners to negotiate. And Rio Grande is the southernmost state of Brazil. The track was inaugurated on the 12th of June 2005. The circuit has been home to almost all major categories of racing for Brazil and Argentina, and the track is mostly famous for hosting the Brazilian Formula 3 Championship, and it currently still hosts the TCR South American Championship. So let's switch over to the live action and see how the guys are feeling out there on track.
Petey's got a nice little gap there at the moment, 0.7 of a second over Cuckoo. Brett in third at the moment, Brad Luck, Esky Man, Rangy, the Bloody Nine, Scar, Mark and Kiz. Now, I had a discussion with Viper before the race because I've noticed that there's a little bit of conjecture about how to say his name. and we've decided we're just going to call him Keith. I don't know if that's his name or not, but it's easy. No, it's Viperian, but he's happy with Viper.
Yep. Viper makes it easy for everybody.
Absolutely.
And 15 minutes to go in qualifying. The guys are getting their tyres up to temp and final tuning their cars for the current track conditions. Everyone was expecting it to be wet, so there's a little bit of change of pace at the moment as the guys settle into a very, very dry qualifying. And we've got the top 5 cars all currently sitting in the 125.
Who's your pick for pole?
Well, I'm still leaning towards Petey. Petey has been outstanding with his pace in the first 3 rounds. A little bit unlucky in the races themselves, but flat out pace. I'm expecting Petey to be on pole. Brett will certainly be in the mix, maybe in the top 3. If he's not pulling off the front row, he'll certainly be in the second row.
Absolutely, like always, he'll probably be the guy sitting there ready to capitalise if someone makes a mistake in front of him. He's won a couple of races over the different series that we've had by doing exactly that.
But there has been a few new names throwing up in the front of this field, so it's been a great championship so far. The racing has been contested right down. There's 26 cars on track, I believe, this evening, and we'll be seeing competitive racing all the way through, from first position all the way through to the final position on track. And a big shout out to the guys who were involved in the liveries for the Formula Inter Series. Fantastic, all based around the Brazilian theme.
Absolutely, some brilliant looking cars out there, very imaginative.
We're riding aboard at the moment with Scar in the Spectrum livery.
Oh, Sepultura, I think, isn't it?
The
heavy metal band?
Yes.
It's probably not your or my kind of thing, but...
I'm more of a 60s rock and roll man myself.
Bit of John Denver?
Always great to see a bit of Denver. Far cry from the Charlie Pride that we're forced to grow up on with my father's favourite artist.
Oh, I had to grow up listening to Bill Haley and Chuck Berry. Could have been worse, but that's the way it was.
We do apologise, there is a little bit of a interference with the audio from inside the cars. It does flicker in and out again. It's not something with the stream, it is actually something in-game. It's only an issue for the broadcast. It doesn't necessarily happen for the drivers themselves in-car, only for the broadcast suite. If you are watching the stream this evening, guys, we thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And to click on notifications so you're aware of when we go to live to air on Monday nights for Gravel Trap Legends, their Pro Series. And if you like what you see, get on to the Discord for Gravel Trap Legends, and they run a shakedown league on Wednesday nights. You don't have to register for that. You can jump on. They race the same cars on the same track. So there is another event, so Shakedown Round 5 is this Wednesday night. And if I was half organised when I said that, I would actually know where they're racing. Give me 2 seconds.
Looks like Max has had himself a little bit of an incident. Oh, we just caught the tail end of that and he's gone back to the pits. That's a shame. Brett has managed to pull a little bit of time back on Petey. He's still slightly less than 6/10 behind, so Petey's got a nice little gap there at the moment. Only one in the 24s. Cuckoo's not far off Brett, but it looks like there's not too many contenders at the moment apart from those two.
And that could be part of the challenge. The guys were all set up for wet, so they may have not spent a lot of time making a dry setup for this track. But Wednesday night with the shakedowns, they're at Guapal, which is a fantastic circuit, and that's where we'll be with the Pro Series next Monday night.
Have you had a chance to drive around here in these cars, Tim? It's a great little track in these cars.
I did. I'm still struggling with the heel to toe. Still a bit of tightness in that in my knee. I couldn't quite find the pace. I think I was doing a 127, so I was at the back of the field. But we did race this with the, I was going to say the minis. I think we had the mini series. We came here, and it was absolutely fantastic. I overcooked it into turn 1. I took a couple of guys with me. Sorry about that, guys. I think it was actually Cuckoo that we're sitting with now. But no, I love the circuit. It's very, very challenging, as all the Brazilian
tracks.
It's
a great circuit for the smaller, slower cars. It's absolutely fantastic. We also did the BMW 2002s here. And they're very, very slippery. It's almost like you don't need the wet weather. It pretty much simulates the wet weather with those tyres anyway. Yeah, they're an absolute handful.
The track is very deceiving. There is some, just some subtle changes of camber coming in and out of the corners, which makes it a little bit of a handful, especially this little section down through the hill, through the chicane there. It's almost a straight through chicane, but that little kick can easily step out the back of the car. And again, manual gearboxes in these, so the guys are required to use their clutch. You do have to blip your way down through the gears. The compression lock on these is a killer.
Yeah, going back to second, it hurts you, doesn't it, if you pull it too quickly?
Yeah, we used to love it the old days, hooning around in the 70s and 80s, the old line locker, where you drop back a gear and compression lock. Not so much fun in these cars.
So where do you think the passing opportunities will be tonight, Tim? Apart from turn 1, I think it's the most obvious one. You reckon there's
there's some advantages. There's advantages into turn 5. So the sweeping right-hander and getting braking zone into turn 6. And we also saw the braking zone into turn 8 before you've got the tight left-hander. And
yeah, that's a tricky one because you can easily end up getting put on the outside for the next right-hander. So
it is.
You really got to get it over and done with before you get through that corner. And
it is a tricky braking zone because you come up over the rise of that hill, and the car is slightly unsettled as you come down the hill into the braking zone. And again, anyone who overcooks it coming out of 9 will then get run down coming through 10 and into 11. We have seen some passes previously in other classes of car through 11 and 12. And again, 14 onto the start-finish line is also a bit of an interesting braking zone, sort of getting the car settled and trying to maximise your pace through there. If you overcook it through there, you can easily get run down the start-finish line.
It's a strange car too in that fifth doesn't necessarily give you an advantage. I found that holding fourth, especially in a lot of the straights, it almost gets you at least the equal top speed. So it's slightly odd. It's like you almost go from 4th to 6th. It's an odd little, and if it's ever so slightly inclined, the track, you're definitely better off staying in 4th.
And the slipstream will come into play. The little straight between turns 7 and 8 will get a little bit of advantage, but we've got that big, long start-finish line. Almost 900 metres, I think it is, from start to finish. That's a good advantage for the guys if they're close enough to take up the maximum gain through downforce as we lose some of our marker boards there.
I haven't actually looked at the track cuts. What are the track cuts like on the outside of that corner? Are they strict or not?
No, they're not as bad. The track cuts 13 can be quite vicious. You can't get too narrow or wide through 13. You can give the chicane there a good hammering. A little bit vicious down through 8, I think. And you can't take too much of the curb through 12. But the rest of it is within what you'd expect.
Yeah, these cars definitely don't like too much curb, but these curbs aren't too high, which is good, unlike the last track that we went to. But yeah, it's a brave man that runs over them. I don't know how they're going to go in the wet doing that, but I guess the confident guys will do it, and the other guys might come unstuck.
Well, we saw from round 1 in the wet, the guys fairly well stayed away from the curb. Anything that's painted in the wet is a no-no.
I actually think this corner here, Tim, could be a little bit of a sleeper as far as causing a bit of drama. It's a bit like turn 3 at the last track that we went to, where it's very easy to run quite wide there and drop that left rear wheel on the outside. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something going on there.
If you want to chuck up the track map for us, please, Jason, so we can see where we are on track. Thank you. So coming around track map, this is coming now down into turn 14 and onto the start-finish line. We've got our pit bay over to the left-hand side.
Walk us around the lap, Tim. It's right on board.
And this is basically full noise down here, hard on the brakes from about the 100 mark. And I was dropping down a third through here. It's actually a bit tighter than you think, a little bit of drift around there. You can take a little bit of the outside, that's fine. Straight line through here up into 4th, up into 5th. And this is that tricky little braking brake. As soon as you get the car straight, back down to 3rd. And it gets a little bit tighter on you here. Swish it out there.
Didn't go as planned.
Dodging the car on the inside of the track there, I think. But it is a tricky little exit coming out of turn 6, because it just sort of tightens up on you on the car and the track tends to taper away. So we'll have another crack at it. Riding on the board with Brett now. Currently 2nd fastest on track. Nope.
No.
He's bailed. All right, let's take the T9. He's coming off a very successful series last series. So into turn 1. You can see you can get quite wide there. 4th gear through the S here, the chicane, flatline that. Little tap on the brakes, settle the car. As soon as you get the car straight, you need to be on the brakes. 2nd gear if you wash off too much pace. Get the car back up. And now coming the run down to turn 8. And that's the tricky little braking zone there. And then the camber runs away and the back of the car steps out again. And
this is a corner I think could be very easy to run wide there.
The track tightens up on you right as you come out of the apex. You think you've got it, and it just gets that little. It's almost like a double apex corner. Coming now through into turn 10. Big sweeper through 12, 13 and around into 14. Flat on here, you can run, you can take the full ape on there. You just don't want to hit it in the grass. And there is a lap around Santa Cruz to Sol.
So no one's closed that gap to Petey. Brett's still got within 0.5 of a second. The bloody 9's up to 3rd. Expecting guys like Esky Man to possibly push up there into the top 5.
Okay, so Lloyd Powers jumped into the chat. He said the weather, where's the weather? Came here for the moist Brazilian, and he's very disgruntled with that. You can down change through the clutch if you get the revs just right. You can, but it's like it's not synchronized box, so you have to do the gate shift on that. And you can no lift shift up through gears using the clutch. Yeah, unfortunately with my knees I'm not that talented. I'm a bit like an octopus. I've got feet going everywhere.
So that would be Gunn watching in. No doubt he's working, is he?
Yep, I can see.
Out the tunes.
And our chats have popped up on the broadcast. I'm just having a quick check out to make sure everything is functioning correctly. So, welcome to the broadcast, Gunner.
So that's pretty much time over now. I guess anyone that can finish their lap. But it looks like Petey might have a nice comfy little gap here, 6 tenths per second. That could easily change though if it's going to be wet race. Depends on who's got what set up loaded. Like you said, not everybody might have a dry setup.
Right, Jason, I'm just going to ask if you can turn your microphone up just a little bit. You're either moving away from the mic or you're just fading out a little bit.
How's that?
Awesome.
I'll just put you a little bit closer to my face.
Awesome, awesome. So we're just waiting for the last few guys to finish their lap at the moment. We look at the qualifying. Petey is on top with a 124.6. Brett S with a 125.1, very close to the Bloody Nine. And third, 125.2. Travis Moan with a 125.3 and a 125.4 for Cuckoo. That is very, very close for the top 5 cars there. And
yeah, from second back, it's very close. Hopefully those guys were able to give Petey a bit of a push in the race.
The advantages of their slipstream coming down this massive start-finish line, I think, is going to throw a little bit of the guys, and the moisture is going to be a bit of a play here. So we can now see on screen, running through the order, Petey and Brett on row 1. Row 2 will be the Bloody Nine and Travis Moan. And we've changed straight over to the race, and there we are. We can see the moisture coming down. No, there's no fur on the microphone, Gun, but there are a few croaky moments because both Jason and myself just got a little bit of a chesty cold. So that's giving us that little bit of a furry gravel rash for you. Bringing in the full true Brazilian, we're not quite willing to put a razor down there.
I can thank my wife for it. She works in a school and she's got to hang around with all those grotty little germ carriers, so she tends to bring things home quite a lot.
Builds up the immune system. So, Gun, if you just want to let us know, the screen seems to be holding up reasonably well at the moment. There's a little bit of pixelation, but it's not too bad. I have changed a few of the settings, so hopefully it doesn't pixelate too much. Just rolling through the grid at the moment for the guys to get sorted. It is a standing start for race 1. It is a 25-minute race with plus one lap. And then we'll be taking a quick break between race 1 and race 2. We'll be having a quick changeover of servers. And the guys are all just double checking. Looks like most vehicles have got themselves sorted and do have wet tyres on. That's always that real nervous moment when the change of weather comes through. Have you got your setup right? Does the setup load? What's going through your mind, Jason, when you're sitting here on the grid?
I'm panicking usually, trying to figure out which way I'm going to go.
And we are green, racing here as Santa Cruz the Sol in the wet. Petey and Brett S have made a fantastic jump off the mark, but it looks like that it's going to be the inside run. Oh, I thought the Bloody Nine might have actually caught him on the inside there, but no, it looks like everyone got through. Petey has the jump out the front. The guys too wide through. The S's there is not preferred, but everyone is, commentator's curse, doing quite well at this stage.
Yeah, I thought Brett might have got him there into the, but he was very, very cautious there into the first corner. I thought he was going to launch it up the inside. Petey managed to stick it around the outside. So
Ooh.
let's see if he can pull away from but he's already got over a second gap now.
We can see the standing water on track is going to make it very uncomfortable for these drivers.
Let's ride on board and see what it's like for the guys behind that are close behind.
I'm thinking it's certainly better than round one. Round one with the grey skies made it hard. At least here we've got a little bit of white light in the sky. It's probably not ideal, but it's certainly the best of a worse situation, I think. And Dat Boy makes the move.
Dat Boy also streams as well onto YouTube. His channel is AMS2. If you ever want to jump on, he's usually right in that midfield pack that battles right behind the first couple of guys from sort of 5th to 10th or 15th. So it's always good watching his battles.
Yes, and Joshua Hill is also another one of our streamers. You can normally catch in-car footage from his stream. Search Joshua Hill.
There he is right there.
Sitting in the Antarctica livery.
We're missing a streamer in this series too, John Slow. He's normally one of the guys that's out there putting out all his videos. So he's decided not to race in this series, I assume.
He's got other commitments at this stage. But a very competitive racer.
Yeah, I tell you what, those black cars are hard to see it this weather.
Smithy doing a great job though back there. Sitting in 14th position, we now sit with the Bloody Nine. And he's sitting right up in the back of Travis Moan. But we can see from the onboard visuals, you don't want to be too close, otherwise you'll lose all vision of your braking point and your turn-in points.
There's a battle between G-Dude and Mark. Looks like he's going to get him down into the first corner here. Got the slipstream coming out of the last corner.
And the guy's very, very gentle on the brakes and turn in there. Right, very challenging in an open wheel car in weather like this.
It's following Mark at the moment, right behind G-Dude. We'll see what the view's like from here. There's a lot of puddles on the inside, so these guys are going to be doing their best to try and avoid all those as they learn the track in the wet.
Yes, and that standing water that Gunnar pointed out is going to be in some of these braking zones, like right there. The car will just feel a little bit funky as you come into that braking zone. But how good are the graphics and visuals for Automobilista 2? Absolutely fantastic.
Brilliant.
Mark 860 fighting with the car a little bit here. You can see a little twitchiness in the steering wheel. He tries to just maintain the angle of that car without losing the rear end.
Just noticed here that No Frills is ranging right up on the back of Smithy here. Let's see if he gets a run on him down the front straight. If he gets a good exit out of this corner, we'll see if he can slipstream him down into the first corner. Oh, here he goes. He's going to have a good run here. Just go to the outside shot. Between the camouflage and the black, it's hard to see both.
It easily gets the job done. And again, very cautious on the brakes coming into turn one.
There's Stu right behind, and he's got Eski right behind him in the matching half Brazilian cars.
We've got our two leading drivers at the moment, 1 and 2, Petey and Brett S, fighting for the title of fastest lap. At the moment, they both have they've got three ticks for the fastest lap. And riding on board with Eski Man at the moment with Mac Attack. This is the sister cars. There was only 21 liveries available in this slot for these cars. We've got 26 drivers, so some people have doubled up on their liveries.
Here we go. This is a nice little move up the inside to a corner that you probably wouldn't expect him to do it on.
But again, that was all about the maximising the traction coming out of the corner and that slow in, fast out, which is doubly so in the wet weather.
Now we'll see what Matt can do on Stu, if he gets himself into trouble by passing him.
Stu's always a tough competitor. As long as he doesn't have to go through the pit lane, he's got a fantastic drive. Although we can't say too much. Every time we call Stu out, he normally ends up in the wall. So, shh, quiet.
Yeah, I'm never going to let him live that one down.
Mack Attack running around in the McCaw livery, the full Brazilian colours.
Petey's got himself a nice little lead at the moment, 2.3 seconds over Brett. Doesn't look like he's going to be troubled by him. And Travis is another 5 seconds back behind Brett. So those guys are having a fairly lonely race out in front. Although they'll probably be pretty happy about it.
But I can see the Bloody Nine and Travis Moan are having a great battle here at the moment. And Cuckoo just sitting off the back of that pack as well. Things really tightening up now for the final podium position.
Absolutely horrendous looking puddles there on the inside. You can see a lot of them are too afraid to go near the inside, running mid-pack, trying to find the best line as they can. And it looks like Cuckoo might even be close to having a bit of a dip here, will he? Not quite. Thought he might have been a bit closer to getting the slipstream, but not quite.
But if these guys continue to fight each other, that could also bring Dat Boy up into this. He's only a couple of seconds off the back of that pack. And we've also got Scar sitting just off the back of Dat Boy as well.
Got No Frills, just got Mark there.
Just over 16 minutes to go plus 1 lap.
He dealt with Stu, so now he's coming up on the back of Smithy. Let's see if he can find him in a nice little creative place like he did with Stu.
All right, Gunner, you enjoy your evening, mate. Thank you for dropping in and saying good day. Oh, a little wheel out on the grass there. That's not ideal.
No, not in the wet. I thought he might have been gone there, but this is where he got Stu just before. He's going to try and go around the outside if he can. Or is he going to try and set him up for a run? They're avoiding the puddles on the inside there. They're awful, aren't they? And blame again on that corner.
And you can just imagine how much of a handful these cars would be if you managed to catch one of those puddles.
Here we go right up behind him now. If we get a good run out of here, he'll more than likely slipstream him straight down into the first corner, which is where we've seen most of the overtaking tonight, apart from that one from Esky before on Stu. There he goes.
Gets the advantage of the inside line. Easy, easy into the braking zone. Don't want to overcook it and undo your hard work.
Now let's see if Matt can follow him through. He followed him through a couple of other passes before, so he's just trying to let Esky do the hard work, and let's see if he can sneak in there as well. That's a horrible puddle there on the right-hand side, isn't it? Right in that little dip. We're all trying to avoid it.
Yeah, so the guys will be running for 10 minutes around here now. They would have worked out where these puddles are sitting on the track. Everyone doing an awesome job at it. We have not seen anyone into the pits yet. And plenty of little battles going on around the track.
Esky now trying to make a move on Mark. Let's see if he can set him up again. Oh, geez, that was... Oh, no, I think he might have bumped in there.
They both have managed to get away with it without too much grief.
They're a little bit too far behind now to get the run on him down the front straight, but he's not too far. I think he might have actually got a pretty good run here. Let's see if he can get him out, break him into the first corner. Otherwise, he's going to have to spend the next part of the lap setting him up again. And either do a sneak attack or go at him again. No, he's awful close. I reckon he might even have a little try here somewhere around the track, maybe down into the keyhole. If you get the guy in front, if he breaks a little bit too late, it's very easy to run wide down here. Oh, this is brave. No, he's back out of it. Smart decision.
If he can get close enough here, get a good drive down, and the run coming down into turn 8. There's a bit of a line. He can get a slipstream down here, but there's a little
going to be
puddle.
going through the water to do it.
Yeah. Ooh. But he's on the right side for the switchback, but he can't quite pull it off. And you don't want to be out there.
No, wheel on the outside there. He did that last time. He was awful close to it, and that's just slightly ruined his chances of getting too close here. We'll see if he can get round these next couple of corners. He's been pretty quick through here behind everybody, so he might be able to make up that time before he comes out of the last corner and gives it a good old slipstream down the front straight.
Whoa.
Oh no, he's gone. Wheel on the outside of the track, and wow, great race that he was doing so well too.
That one's a ticket for the pit bay for sure.
Cuckoo now's ranged right up on the back of Travis, so let's see what he can do. And they're right behind the bloody 9. So here we go, out through the keyhole.
That is as close as you want to get in wet track racing in an open wheeler. Adam Bucks just jumped in and said, "Come on, Smithy." Smithy having a fantastic drive. He's been sitting in 14th position and holding off at Mac Attack at the moment. And thank you guys for watching. This is Monday Night Pro League with Gravel Trap Legends. Round 4 for the Formula Inter at Santa Cruz do Sul. And it is a little bit damp. It's saturated.
Absolutely saturated.
The guys had the advantage of a dry qualifying, but the rain came down between qualifying and the race, and it has been collected water around the track since the opening flag dropping on this race. It's a 25-minute race plus 1 lap with 11 minutes to go. We've currently got Petey sitting up 5 seconds in front of Brett S. The bloody 9 fighting it out with Travis at the moment, and Cuckoo sitting off the back of that pack as well, fighting out for the 3rd position on the podium. And the guys are also fighting for the fastest lap, which comes with a credit as well.
Here we go. I think Mac's going to have a go at Smithy here. He's going to try and see if he can outbrake him down to the first corner. Can he do it? Oh, there's a slight touch there. Looks like he's managed to get his way through though. It might be a bit boring up the front, but that midfield pack is having an absolute belter of a race.
Smithy's got the advantage now being at the back. If he can hang on to the back of Mac Attack here, he can take advantage back coming down at the end of this lap. And Joshua Hill running into some early trouble. He was running up and 9th position earlier in the race. And we can see a car sitting in the pits at the moment. That would still be our driver from before. Long period for repairs.
Zadeski, I saw him when he had his little incident. I haven't seen him ever since on the leaderboard, so yeah, it might be him. He might be sitting this one out until the next race. He had a fair amount of damage, so I'd say that's probably going to take a long time to get fixed.
So again, commentators, Chris, we were commentating. We had not seen anyone in the pits. We have had 3 cars in the pits in the last 2 minutes. They're not listening to our stream, but they're certainly taking on some of the mojo from the stream.
close battle still here with Cuckoo and Travis. Still hasn't managed to get past him, but he must have a hell of a time behind, trying to see where he's going. He'll be desperate to get in front.
We've got to say, Petey has this one in the bag at the moment. If he manages to keep it clean, he is the fastest car on track by a full second. A 1:27.9 his last lap. And we can see there the gap between Petey coming into turn 1 now, and Brett S is still halfway down the start-finish line. But then there's that big gathering of cars back with the Bloody Nine Travis Moan and Cuckoo. They've been running nose to tail since the start of this race, contesting it for the 3rd position on the podium.
Looks like they're coming up to lap max power now, so hopefully he'll be able to move out of the way. There he goes. Classic Max. These people coming in his rear vision mirror, jumps out of the way, let everybody continue on. Oh, well. I think he just managed to. Commentators curse again tonight, gee whiz.
Travis just dropping off in the grass to have a chat with Max.
Yeah.
Maybe they're having a conversation about the setup that Max is going to have for the car that he sponsors in real life.
Yeah, he's having a good old chat about that before the race. One thing I love about Max, he's extremely enthusiastic about his racing.
And loves getting out to Malala and supporting the local motorsport event out there. It is a fantastic track. I grew up visiting that track in my childhood. Got fond memories of Malala. And I think we're looking at a virtual safety car. Looks like the cars have slowed down. Nope, everyone's still racing. The players can call a virtual safety car at any stage during the race up until the final 5 minutes. The virtual safety car will have all cars line up behind the lead car.
We don't know Frill's about to have a run at Rangy.
3 wide. That wasn't on the cards, I don't think, at the start of that lap.
No, I think Scar must have had a little issue there. He was in front of these guys just a second ago, so I don't think he's got any damage from any other incident, has he?
That could have just been being polite and moving out of the way and going, I am going 3 wide into turn 1.
Battle here with Smithy and Jay Hill. I think these guys have been Smithy's had a few people that he's been trying to hold off.
Yes, we've got Adam Buck in the chat at the moment supporting Smithy, doing a great job sitting in 14th position.
Oh, is that commentator's curse again? I think it might have been. He's just run off the road.
That's all right.
Who would you like to go off next, Tim? I'll focus the camera on them and we'll curse them. Shall we get Petey to have a little spin and he might manage to get things a little bit more exciting?
Oh, Petey's lost a little bit of pace. His last lap was a 1:28.7.
Still the quickest, but not quite as quick as he was. Only 2/10 quicker that lap.
We can see there's not much separating the drivers from 8th through to 15th or 16th, all running around about similar times. Scar's had a bit of an off. Scar did have an off. He dropped right back with a 1:40.76. He was clearly having some issues in that car.
Yeah, that's where I'm wondering if he might have had an issue coming back onto the front straight, because he got passed quite easily by Mac just before. Was it Mac that we were following?
Yes.
No Frills?
Yep.
And Rangy? Yeah, he looked like he was he'd pulled to the left-hand side like those guys go, so I don't know whether he had an issue, but his lap time certainly indicates that he did.
And he would be quite dirty with himself. He had early pace in qualifying. Has also had some outstanding powers in rounds 3 and round 2. The guys will be fighting to try and get up into the top 10. It is a reverse grid for the top 10 drivers only in race 2. So whoever finishes in 10th position will be first on the grid. And if it was to finish in the way, we would have the race starting with Rangi and No Frills on the front row, Brad Luck and Kiz on row 2, Travis Moan and Datboy on row 3, Cuckoo the Blay 9 on row 4, and row 5 would be Petey and Brett S. And then row 6 would be Mark 860 Mac Attack, Scar 860 Joshua Hill, and Smithy.
I've done it again, Tim. I focused on Viper and he's just run off the road, so I'm not having a good night. Although, I'm somehow creating good racing, aren't I?
Absolutely.
Certainly not boring.
And it is a gift to be able to capture that moment when the cars slide off track. So you're doing an awesome job.
Have you got anyone you hate? I can go and ruin their racing if you want.
I love all the guys here in Gravel Trap Legends. Everyone is fantastic. The quality of driving is outstanding. And
great bunch of blokes.
As we're seeing, we've got battles going all the way right down to 26th position at the moment. So, again, a credit to the quality of drivers that show up here for the Pro Series on Monday nights.
And we finally got to see what a lot of them look like now in the Discord chat. We got to see a lot of these mugs of the people, got to put some faces to their names, which was interesting. A lot of people look nothing like I imagine. Here we go. Oh, he's done it again.
That's a tyre. That's a mess. Yes, I think the pit crew is going to have to come out here and flip that car back onto its wheels. Quick reset into pits. I think it's the first time I've seen one rip a wheel off. The Gambits jumped in there and said, focus for Cuckoo and Datboy. Yes, they're having a great battle here at the moment. Looks like Datboy's dropped off the back a little bit. But Cuckoo hard up on the back of the bloody 9, still battling it out, trying to get onto that podium finish. But it is a reverse grid for race 2.
Here we go, we're following Cuckoo. How long do you give it before he spears off the road?
Well, I think
guaranteed to happen while we're watching him.
Gambit, I think, is asking for a focus on the Blay 9 because he'd like Cuckoo to jump up there. But then the disadvantage at the moment, these two will be sitting on row 4, finishing in this position. So it's only the difference between the point scale between 3rd and 4th. As we see, Bales McKenzie has moved up into 15th position, Smithy up into 14th now.
Here we go, let's watch Bales spin off the road somewhere. I've really got no confidence in myself anymore, Tim, I must admit. The first proper night doing this without Neil here, and I seem to be, I don't know, it's some sort of witchcraft.
I was commentating for Octane Online Racing about 4 weeks ago, and I actually got given a stop go 20 during my commentating brief. I called 3 cars in 1 lap. All 3 cars binned it within 5 seconds of me calling it. So they put me in the sin bin. But that is the commentator's curse.
I guess that's what Stu probably blames, does he, on hitting the wall at Cascais? You might as well bring that up again when you focused on him in the pit stop and he took off and drove hard right into the wall.
We try and give our illustrious leader some airtime every week, but we're very cautious about it now because we did bin him 3 or 4 events weeks in a row, so we do apologise for that, Stu. We're just not intentional. The guys are down to the final lap. Edie has a 11-second margin at the moment over Brett S, but it is heating up between the Bloody 9 and Cuckoo. They are fighting out for the top 3rd position of the podium. Datboy has drifted a little bit off the back there, but there is a 5-second space between 4th and 5th, and Datboy has a 5-second margin over Travis Moan. He's got a 7-second margin back to Kiz. And then there's a few seconds separating Brad Luck, No Frills, Rangi, before we stretch back to Mac Attack, who at the moment is having to watch his mirrors because Mark 860 is hanging off the back of Mac at the moment. And Smithy doing a great job there holding off Barnes McKenzie for this last lap. And we can see on the track map the little battles that are happening all around the track. So having a few issues at the moment with the stream. The chat keeps disappearing and coming back again. I do apologise for that, guys. But it has been fantastic racing here for race 1. And Petey takes out the title.
13 seconds he's managed to do it.
And that would also successfully give him the fastest lap.
Brett in second. Got the bloody 9 coming around the last corner now for third. Huku right behind him. And we've got Dat Boy, Travis Moan, Kiz, Brad Luck at No Frills, and Rangy Rover.
And that will be the reverse grid for our top 10 for race 2. Once these cars settle through, we'll be clicking over to see some sponsorship. We'll be taking a quick 4 or 5 minute break. We see a few of the sponsor boards fly up into the air there. 4 to 5 minute break between race 1 and race 2 for a reset of the servers. But we'll keep the stream going, guys, and we'll be back after the end of this race when we have the lobby set up for race 2. And if you're watching the stream, guys, let us know how the stream looks. We have made a few changes to the graphic settings for the game to try and improve the quality of the stream. The replay videos come through an absolute treat on the big screen. But the live stream, my little hamster has got its little tongue hanging out, doing the best he can to try and give us the best quality. As we see Truri come through, Pix riding on with Pixel in 19th position. G-Dude sitting off the back of Pixel.
I've got a feeling that these guys probably were lapped, so their AI is probably taken over and doing this last lap for them now.
Yep, that would be a positive. And we should get the screen come up and we can see our official standings after race 1. Petey over Brett S, the Bloody 9 over Cuckoo, Dat Boy, Travis Moan, Kiz, Brad Luck, No Frills and Rangy take out our top 10. Mac Attack managed to climb his way through the field up into 11th position. And we have lost our screen, so the guys reset the servers. We will be back very, very shortly, guys, when we get the server set up for race 2. Welcome back. We're getting organised now for race 2. It is a reverse grid. The top 10 drivers only will be reverse. They will be lining themselves up, getting ready. If you would like to read out the starting order for us, please.
Absolutely. On pole position will be Rangy Rover. Second will be No Frills. Third will be Brad Luck. Fourth is Kiz. Fifth is Travis. Sixth is Dat Boy. Seventh is Cuckoo. The Bloody Nine will be 8th. Brett 9th. And Petey will be coming out of 10th.
And they will start off in a random grid. They will drive away from the green light. They will do themselves a formation lap and get themselves into their start order, and it will be a rolling start. And again, race 2 is 25 laps plus 1 lap.
Who's your money on for this one, Tim?
I'm still going to have to say the pace that Petey had in the early race, provided he manages to work his way through the field without too many incidents, being that he's got to surpass 9 other cars. He's clearly going to be the front runner here. But I'm just looking at this weather, and the way it's moving through, I'm wondering if it is going to clear up as it gets heavier, as I say that. But the rain doesn't look as heavy for race 2 as we saw in race 1.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I reckon Petey's going to be tough to beat in this one. His pace was so exceptional in that first one. He had quite a fair margin over everybody else. So I wouldn't be surprised if he can get through cleanly. He's absolutely got the speed to do it.
But again, you have to be able to get through cleanly. And with 9 other cars that are also quite racy in front of you, it's going to be a big ask.
Yeah, I think if Rangy and No Frills can get off the line and have a fairly trouble-free first few laps, I reckon they might be able to build a bit of a gap here and really make Petey and Brett work for it. They're riding on board with Rangy at the moment. He's going to make his way through to the front. And second will be No Frills, who we're on board with now. That's Dat Boy in front. He's got to drop back.
And again, an extra big shout out to Risa for the awesome graphics and the sounds and the whole package that comes with Automobilista 2. Guys, you're watching Gravel Trap Legends here on Monday night. This is the Monday Night Pro Series, the Formula Inter for the full Brazilian Series, round 4 from Santa Cruz do Sul. You're with Tim Lawson and Jason Woods. The guys are lining up for race 2, a 25-minute plus 1 lap race.
I think we're just waiting for Petey to drop back now into 10th, and then they're pretty much ready to go.
So it is only the top 10 drivers that have a reverse grid for this race, just to spice things up a little bit. And Scar sitting in the front row. He'll be off.
He didn't finish in the top 10, so I'm not sure what he's doing at the front. Maybe he's going to be the pace car for this evening.
Yeah, he could be. He could be doing a lap all the way around.
Unless he thinks it's a complete reverse grid. Did he finish last in the last one? Looks like the rest of them are pretty much in order though, so I think when they come around this time, they should be pretty right to go.
Maybe all that thrash and hard rock from Sepultura is a little bit tone deaf.
Yeah, he's coming into the pits. It almost looks like his car was wobbling around a little bit there.
I'm thinking he's on slicks.
On the first lap.
That looked a lot like slicks.
Oh, you might be right, yeah.
Because we can just see in the graphics here the little V lines on the tyres. Very uncomfortable not having a wet tyre. Although it doesn't look like we've got the standing water from race 1. The track might be a tad drier. And then we look down the start-finish line and I've just been caught out there. The guys are off and racing for race 2. 21 minutes remaining, plus 1 lap. Rangi Rover takes him out, gets into a lead here. Looks like No Frills is going to tuck up the inside, and Brad Luck will hold on to 3rd position. Kiz and Travis Moan will sit in front of Dat Boy over Cuckoo, who's dropped back behind Brett S already. Petey still back in 10th position, so that's going to make it difficult for Petey if he gets tangled up with the bloody 9. But No Frills at the moment doing a great job here over Rangi.
Yeah, he just managed to sneak through into the chicane there, first lap, so that was a great move.
And Gambit's got money on Frills already.
Petey's made up 1 spot. Let's see how he goes on the first lap. He might be able to make up a couple here and capitalise on a few people having some little issues as they sort themselves out.
It is a very congested section of track here at the moment. Oh, we've just seen, I think that was Dat Boy go wide there. I thought he was almost going to go out on the grass.
There's still a bit of standing water in those corners there, so the guys are still going to have to be very careful around some of those. No Frills has managed to pull himself out a nice little gap in the first lap, nearly 1.3 seconds. 2.1 to Brad Luck.
That is atrocious vision, isn't it, out the back of this car?
Absolutely, I'm glad I'm here. Not doing that. Here we go. There's quite a few wide going into this corner.
Big move down the outside. That's probably not going to win you too many tickets here in the wet. That's almost muscle memory turning down through the chicane there. Great car control in the wet we're seeing from Petey. Certainly doesn't appear to be having too many issues with traction at the moment. But Brett S is also having a few issues at the moment, sitting back behind Dat Boy. Can't seem to find anywhere to make a move, as No Frills.
Yeah, he started 1 spot in front of Petey, but he's already gotten up. So he was 9th, he's already gotten up to 7th. Petey's only made up 1 position so far.
We can see the rubber on the outside of the track there. Even though we've got the heavy rain, you still don't want to get too far off the racing line through these corners. That would make the cars handle even worse than what they would be right now. But No Frills doing a great job at the moment, holding on to his margin over Rangi. And Brad Luck has got a little bit of a margin now over Kiz, who looks like he's going to get a little heat from Travis Moan. Dat Boy and Brett S also coming down cars 3 wide into turn 1. It's hard to pick out who's who in all this mist at the moment, sitting in here with Travis Moan. And the very colourful Dat Boy back behind.
There's still that standing water again in that that little dip there on that straight. So they're going to have to really be conscious of that if they're going to try and pull a move down into that corner.
That makes it difficult because you would normally have a car on the outside. You could try and take advantage of the braking down the inside into turn 8, but that standing water is forcing all drivers down to the left-hand side of the track. But how would you like trying to find your braking markers and trying to find the apexes on these corners? It's follow,
yeah, no thanks.
Follow the red light in front of you.
Here we go, he's got a good slipstream here. Let's see if he's going to... Yep, no, he's going to manage to pull to the left. I thought Travis might have pulled over and tried to make him go the outside.
Oh, and that's
they're going to have
wide.
a look up the inside of Kiz as well, possibly. No, not quite.
That was a little bit of a hold your breath moment. The guys can all take a breather now. But Gambit's got it at the moment. His money was on no frills, and he's comfortably sitting out the front with a 1.5 second margin over Rangy. And Brett S and Petey.
Brett just managed to get past that boy there coming through that chicane too, so he's made up another position. Petey's still 2 positions behind in 8th. But yep, no frills out in front. Got himself a nice little comfortable lead. So Brett and Petey are going to have their work cut out for them once they get past these first few cars. They've got a lot of work to do.
And Stu has found a little bit of pace for race 2. He's sitting in 15th position, just hanging off the back of Smithy, who had a fantastic drive in race 1, and consolidating that in the Veet livery for race 2. You see potential move up the inside there. No. Petey's just got to tuck back in behind that boy.
Oh, that's Cuckoo on the grass, is it? Petey looked like he was going to have a little move on the inside of that boy going into the last corner, but he pulled out of it and it gave him a little bit of a bad run onto the straight, and that just enabled Cuckoo to get up there on the inside. But he's managed to hold on to that position.
And that is very, very nervous driving in the wet. The guys are doing a fantastic job to keep out of each other's tyres. Obviously, there's no push me, shove you in an open wheeler car. They don't like minor impacts.
Yeah, most of the incidents that we've seen have been single car accidents so far, as soon as we put the camera on them. But yeah, they've been fairly clean as far as not touching each other.
You can see the car's too wide up in front there. Looks like Brett S and Travis having a crack. And Brett just trying to find that margin to get past Travis. Can't quite get close enough to take advantage of the long straight down over the start-finish line. He'll get a slipstream, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get as far up as he would like, because Travis has also got
behind as well.
Yeah, and Travis has also got the slipstream off of Brad Luck. Everyone nervously onto the brakes coming into turn 1, trying to keep everything clean. And again, you've got to take your hat off to these guys coming down through turns 2 and 3 to a little S chicane there. Pretty well blind for these guys with the spray coming off the back of these cars. It's pointed and hope that it sticks. And Petey had a little look up.
He's going to have a bit of a lunch there.
Yeah, I don't think the door was quite wide enough for him to get his nose up in there, but he's certainly making the intentions clear. And he's close enough now. If he can maintain this margin, he'll get advantage of that slipstream. Dat Boy's taking Dat Boy through there.
Yeah, that was a nice move through those corners. Not a normal passing spot, but he managed to make it work.
Just putting the pressure on Dat Boy, causing Dat Boy to run a little bit wide. Brett S now sitting right on the back of Travis Moan. He should get the full advantage of this slipstream. Travis just drifted a little bit off the back of Brad Luck there, so we should be able to see Brett make this move. Moves up another position, tucks him up into 5th position.
It looked like he might have almost had a little bit of a touch there with Brad coming out the other side of the corner. No damage done though, so they continue on. Rangy's just been able to pull a few tenths back on No Frills before. It was out to 1.5 seconds. He's now got it down. It was just under a second before, so maybe he might be able to get back up there as well and give him a hurry up before Petey and Brett come through.
Max Powers jumped on and said the guys, it's too wet for him out there. He's got electrical issues. The car has been put back up in the transporter for the night shift. Gunners jumped in and they said it looks like a DRS train down the front straight. These guys doing a fantastic job at the moment. Driving in these conditions. 2-3 margins.
Travis got a little bit wide there going through that second last corner. Petey's managed to sneak up the inside, so that was a nice easy one for Petey.
The bloody
nine there just ran off the outside of the corner. Lucky to keep it on track, given how wet the grass would be at the moment.
Yeah, he's just bringing some love to the sponsors. And Travis got a lot of heat now from Dat Boy. Looks like that rain's getting heavier. Guys, thank you for joining the stream this evening. We hope you're enjoying the coverage for Gravel Trap Legends Round 4 for the Formula Inter Series. PD tucks right up on the back of Brett S now. A little bit of a tap there, I think. Doesn't look like too much damage done. Brett S trying to make the move. And I think he's going to be careful here.
Petey's going to sneak up the inside. Brett got wrong-footed there on the wrong part of the track, and it looks like Petey might have just got past Brett, so the great move.
And Brad Luck, see how much attitude that car's got as he pushes the car through there. Petey will tuck right up onto the back through here if he can get the drive out. He'll want... Oh
no.
That is not in the script.
I did it again.
And that is a duck into the pits for sure. And that's as easy as it gets, people. So the fastest car on track, the fastest car from race 1, has had to dive into the pits for a little bit of body work. So Brett S now has the job to do. He is sitting at 9 seconds off the back of the lead, but No Frills still comfortably with a 1.3 second margin and the front of this field at the moment with only 8.5 minutes to go plus 1 lap. It looks like No Frills might be able to hold on for this win. I'm not going to say too much more. No more commentators curse in this race.
So Brett's now got a clear track too, so with Petey going out and Brad, he's now got a clear track, so we're going to see what sort of lap time he can do now. He did a 130 just before, 130.2. No Frills was on a 128.8, so a little bit slower on those last couple of laps, but with a clear track now, we're definitely going to see what he can do.
He was very similar to what No Frills is running at the moment in race 1. 128.7s and low and high 127s. So the challenge is now on for him to make that margin up.
He's got about 8 minutes to make up 8 seconds.
And that looks like Cuckoo up the inside there of Dat Boy. Taking advantage of the slipstream. And they're just hanging off the back at the moment of Travis Moan, who's trying to maintain pace with Brett S.
So all the guys at the front, the first 5 went a little bit quicker that time, apart from No Frills. They're all into the low 129s now. Brett's managed to get up to 3rd. Who did he?
And Bar McKenzie has managed to surpass Stu. He's stuffed up in the 15th place. Sits on the back of Scar. They're having a great battle out at the moment, and they're just eyeing off Smithy, who's just up the road. We spoke about earlier the challenges that these drivers had. There are great battles going all the way through the field. It's not just the leading 3 drivers. All of the drivers out here are having a bit of a battle with each other. You see Macpac and Joshua Hill having a great battle at the moment as they try and come together into a team and hunt down the back of the Bloody Nine. Try and close that 2-second gap down. You see some guys will be working together as a team to try and consolidate their track positions. No point at this time of the race in trying to battle for position and only slow both of you down.
No, Brett's not been able to make up any time on No Frills and Range. He's actually just dropped back a little bit further. He's about 9 seconds down now, so his lap times are ever so slightly slower than No Frills. So
And
I don't know how he's going to go getting up to the front now.
it looks like the guys are battling a little bit more with the cars. The cars seem to appear to have a little bit more attitude than we saw in race 1. They certainly don't appear to have the level of grip that we saw in race 1. And you can hear the feather off of the throttle. And the tyres light up through these corners. Which is all the 2 to 3 tenths you lose on the corners when you lose that level of traction, and the rubber just doesn't want to stick to the road in these wet conditions. Very gentle on the brakes and down through the gears into turn 1. Avoiding any compression lock. As we mentioned, these cars manual. Oh, a little bit of love tap there.
There we go, we've done it again.
Joshua Hill, a little bit of tap onto the back of Mac Attack, and Mac turned around. No serious harm done, just a little bit of pride. That pops Kiz up into the mix between the two. Mac Attack will just get himself focused again and get back into the race here. With only 4 minutes to go. Oh, we see a car sitting on the inside of the track. And that was Joshua Hill.
Now, I wonder if he's had a little incident there, or whether...
Yeah, I think that was an incident. I don't think that was intentional to sit on the inside in the grass there.
No, I thought maybe he was going to sit there and wait for Mac Attack to come through. But yeah, you're right, absolutely strange spot to try and do it. So he must have had maybe outbraked himself a little bit into that corner.
And again, a hat off to Reza for this. A little bit of contact, a little bit of impact, a little bit of slide. The cars do replicate the changes in condition. So you could find, if you've had a little bit of contact with another car, you've had a little bit of slide coming into the next corner. You may find the car doesn't brake where you thought it don't quite stop coming in the braking zone. You oversteers or understeers. All these little factors are all the little features that are coming into the game that make this game so much more exciting.
But No Frills has now been able to pull out a 2.8 second lead over Rangy, so he's absolutely gunning it at the moment. Brett's 6 tenths of a second quicker, but not enough to be able to get himself up towards the front. He's still just managed to get himself under 8 seconds there.
But the points consolidation, Brett will take a commanding lead of nearly 40 or 35 points or so on the leaderboard. Unfortunately, Petey having a very, very unsuccessful moment, making contact with a stricken car. But I think Petey still may have come close to fastest lap. We'll have to check that out later. Guys, thank you for joining the stream this evening. Hope you have enjoyed it. Look at this old fella, old dog new tricks, getting the chat up onto the screen so you guys can see what everyone else is saying. Riding on a board with Bales McKenzie now. So he pushes it down through the final corner onto the start-finish line. Close enough to get a little bit of advantage of this slipstream, but may not be able to tuck down the inside. Easy, easy, gentle on the brakes. Stu just sitting off the back now. He's tucked back up into 15th position. But struggling to find a little bit of pace with a 130.2 his last lap. A big shout out to Smithy doing another fantastic drive, sitting off the front of this pack. Yeah, currently in 13th position. Had a very successful race one.
Here we go, we've got the two half Brazilians here chasing each other. Esky Man chasing Stu, just like he did earlier the first race before he dropped it off the road.
And it's really mixed conditions out there. It looks like it's going to clear up and then it just tends to bucket down again. Very challenging for the drivers here in race 2. We are counting down to 0 time when No Frills crosses the start finish line for lap 17. That will become the last lap of the race.
Esky must have had a moment in that last lap that's put him back behind Stu, because he did a 135 whereas Stu was a 130, so something's happened there that we didn't see.
Both pulling off a 129 in that last lap. You can see the rain just easing off, making it a little bit easier to see. But still very nervous coming down through turns 2 and 3 through that little S there, and again coming down to the braking zone for turn 6. I struggle to do this in the dry, so imagine how hard these guys are working in the wet.
And their times are surprisingly quick given it how wet it looks. They're only about 3 seconds or so off their dry times, 3 to 4 seconds. So there's still plenty of grip out there.
Yeah, I think if I was running tonight, I'd be with max power. I'd have the car up in the transport. I'd be back having a cup of coffee.
A tinny and a durry, maybe?
Yes. Got the barbecue going out the back with the prawns. We'll just be hanging out with the grid girls.
Max has probably got one on each arm at the moment.
Oh, very loose moment coming off the paint there. And that is
no. I thought
great save. Great
Even
job.
I puckered then.
Great job there by Esky to hang on to that one. Oh, we've got Truey hanging on the outside there.
Truey and see if he can capitalise here. He's got a great view of this battle in front of him.
We can just see how wet it is again. Like the last couple of laps, it was starting to dry out.
Esky's going to have another go here. Oh, it looks like...
So No Frills has taken line honours in race 2. Rangi Rover coming through for 2nd position. And then Brett S manages to hang on to third with Travis Moan, Cuckoo, and Dat Boy rounding out our top 6.
All that excitement in the mid-pack, I completely missed that the race was over.
These guys were just running their own race. They all had good margins over each other. The Bloody Nine that comes through behind Dat Boy into 7th position. Kiz hangs on to 8th with Mac Attack. And Joshua Hill rounding out the top 10. But the race is still on between Stu and Esky.
These guys are going to
like
go side by side. This could end very badly.
Esky Man hanging around the outside there. And I think he manages to hang on to... No.
I think that's you actually stayed there. Oh, is he going to get him?
Esky was Esky. Esky Man hanging around the outside manages to...
Got him by a hair. A pubic hair.
It was. That's the Veet hanging on there. Fantastic racing. We did not have one safety car.
Wow, that's crazy. We didn't even in the first one, did we?
No, the wet weather brings out the gentleman drivers. Everyone
Almost
being...
like they have to concentrate more.
So there we can see the results from race 2. No Frills taking it over Rangi Rover, Brett S, Travis Moan, Cuckoo, Dat Boy, the Bloody Nine, Kiz, Mac Attack, Joshua Hill, Mark 860. My mouse will work.
Looks like Cuckoo with the fastest lap there at 27.7. That's very quick, faster than the leaders.
27.4 for Joshua Hill. Oh no, it's total time, sorry. Petey, not whether Petey actually managed to get... Petey didn't finish the race, unfortunately, so he didn't get a lap time for him by the looks of it. Brad Luck obviously not having a successful time as well, finishing out with 20 cars to finish the race. So Mark 860 ahead of G Dude, Smithy over Bales McKenzie, Esky Man, Stu, Truey, Pixel, Scar, and Brad Luck running out the 20 cars to finish the race 2. And that is the end of round 4 for Gravel Trap Legends on this Monday night for the Pro League. We'll get ourselves organised and we will try and find No Frills in the chat and see if we can't get hold of him and see how he felt about that race. I'll quickly change over screens here. Apologise for this, guys. And we have No Frills with us in the booth.
Oh, g'day guys. This is different.
It was, mate. How was that race for you?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. It feels strange to be out at front from the beginning. I'm usually useless in qualifying, so God bless reverse grids.
And
you did a great job there. Jumped away at the start, managed to pull away and kept yourself a nice little gap.
Yeah, I thought
no spray in the face.
No, well, that was my aim. I thought if I could get somewhat of a sniff to get in front of Rangy early, just go for it, because I don't want to be stuck behind and then I'll get caught by other guys. So I thought if I had some pace, just go for it and hope for the best if I was in front. Rangy was right behind me for 80% of that race, so I was pretty stressed, but we got there.
No, that was a flawless race. You did really well. Your lap times were very similar to Brett's and all the other guys, so that was absolutely flawless.
Thank you, guys. Really good fun.
Now, last week, Petey was when we crossed over to him, dragged him into our chat. He was having some victory chocolate. Have you got anything that you're scoffing down your hole?
As of now, not yet. However, there is always victory chocolate in here, but I don't often get to tuck into any. So I will thoroughly enjoy myself with some victory chocolate and perhaps the Coopers.
Nice work.
Awesome, awesome. And the cars looked like they were having a lot more attitude in race 2. It certainly looked like it was a handful to keep those cars pointing straight.
Yeah, I don't know. They did feel different to race one. I'm not quite sure what that was, but they did seem a bit more squirrely. I'm surprised there wasn't any safety cars, which I was very much thankful for. I was kind of praying to God there'd be no safety cars to bunch us back up again. Um, yeah, so happy days.
How was race one for you? It looked like it was a lot going on in that mid pack. You finished ninth, I believe.
Yeah, finished ninth. I think race one at the spray in that mid pack is just insane at the start. So I was very much just trying to keep it safe. I think I did a couple of questionable moves to get into that nine that maybe perhaps a little bit too aggressive, but that ninth was a good spot to end up on for the next race. So it ended up all right in the end.
Was it hard? How would you go avoiding the puddles on the inside? It looked like there was quite a few, especially in that sort of mid to late part of the lap.
Yeah, there was one decently sized one on that back straight on the right hand side. I think that was the only one that I really purposely tried to avoid. I found the ones on the apexes they wouldn't unsettle the car too much, so it wasn't really worth the slower lap time trying to go around them. So I would plow through them, to be honest, except for that big one on that back straight.
So next week, I assume race one, you're going to try and finish ninth again.
I think so. I think 10th and 9th is the goal. Just don't worry about top 5s. Just aim for the top. Yeah, the end of top 10.
It's a very competitive top 10, so you know, people that do start in the front row in that second race have a really great chance of getting away and pulling that nice little gap before some of the quicker guys are able to get back through. So,
yeah, absolutely. I think that I was telling myself, don't stuff it up. Don't stuff it up. I'm never at the front, so get that opportunity was pretty good.
no, flawless race. Well done.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We'll put you back to the chat. Enjoy.
Thank you very much. Thanks again to the commentators.
And we might actually just quickly grab Max Power. Max was having some troubles in race 2. We'll see whether he's available. And good evening, Max. Welcome to the commentary box. How was race 2, mate? It looked like a very, very hard work.
You there, Max?
Hey, how you going, fellas? Congratulations on your great race.
Yep, I beat Tim to
Absolutely.
commentator's race, so pretty happy with that.
Mate,
I managed to get onto the live stream and was watching the fellas that way. It was great. I did a check on the computer, and it's all running sweet now. Of course, at the end of it.
Have you got a beer in your hand already? Is that why you bailed out of the first race, so you could go and grab a tinny? Hello? Where are you going, Max?
Max has still got a few.
Overpaying. Sorry, fellas.
That's right. Just saying, did you manage to get a tinny in your hand for that second race? Sit back and watch, put your feet up.
I'm in the room with Miss Shift, mate. We got chocolates.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Oh, it seems to be the thing that people chomp on after the race. Petey had some victory chocolate last week. I think Paul, the No Frills, was going to go and grab some very soon. So that's the thing to have.
I think it's the brick line from Indy. So we've thrown away the milk. It's in winter time, mate. It's frozen.
Yeah, and all the winners get Tim Tams anyway from Stu. So yeah,
Absolutely.
It's the choice.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for jumping in, Max. Glad you enjoyed the stream. We'll look forward to seeing you on track again next Monday. And that is race 1, or round 4. I'm doing it. Stu's just quickly throwing up the points table. And yeah, Brett has a commanding lead now. My failing eyesight tries to look that far. 224 points over Cuckoo, 207. And Kiz now slides up into third place with 191 over Dat Boy, and Petey drops back to 5th position. But he hasn't put up the fastest laps. So we'll have all those details and more for you next Monday night. Thank you for watching Gravel Trap Legends on this Monday night for the Formula Inter Full Brazilian. You've been with Tim Lawson And joining me this evening was Jason Woods. Thank you very much. From me, it's good night.
And it's good night from him.